Hi, we're Owen and Emily Gray, and we serve with Athletes in Action, which is based in Xenia, Ohio. This is also our daughter, Maisie. We're going to read you that.
Why? She's cute. Are you cute? You are. You took a passy right out of your mouth.
No. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Hi, we're Owen and Emily Gray, and we serve with Athletes in Action, which is a Christian sports ministry based in Xenia, Ohio. And joining us is our daughter, Maisie, who's 6 months old. So, Athletes in Action is a Christian sports ministry which is looking to see spiritual movements built across the world through the platform of sports so that everyone will truly know someone who is following Christ. So that our vision is that we get to expose every athlete on every team and every nation to the gospel.
So I joined staff about 5 years ago. I'd been working as an athletic trainer, and through working with athletes and seeing their physical brokenness, what I really saw were people that needed spiritual healing more so than their physical healing. And I'd also been really involved in the ministries at the church I was going to at the time, and I just felt like God was calling me to move to this full time. So I've been on staff for 5 years and was on campus at University of Washington and Washington State before I moved out here when we got married.
So I was a swimmer on the team at Eastern Michigan, and that was my first exposure to both the need of athletes for the gospel and to Athletes in Action. So during my senior year, I ended up discipling several of my teammates and saw their hunger to know who God was as they grew and as they came to know the Lord. And through that process, felt the need to intern and help build the ministry. And so I interned for 2 years doing campus ministry for the most part, and then got involved with the administrative side of supporting ministry in the field through my second year of internship, and that's currently the role that I hold right now. So I am the campus operations director, So I'm the campus operations director, which means I am responsible for the finances, logistics, conferences, and technology that helps resource the campus ministry across the United States. So I also serve on the campus executive team, helping lead strategic and resourcing the local level, which is in 200 ministry locations across the U.S. and different collegiate athletic departments. And we are looking to grow the depth of those ministries that currently exist and resource those ministries to launch in new locations where athletic ministry is not currently there.
So since Maisie came along, that's changed my role a little bit, being her mommy, but also within AIA, I'm transitioning back into the campus department to work with Owen as his workload is very full. He has 2 interns this summer with X Project, which we'll talk about in a little bit. That gives him a huge lift, but he needs more help.
So we want to talk to you guys a little bit about what are some of the things that God is doing through us and through our ministry. So one of the really cool things about working on a national level is we get to be connected to and help resource multiple things that God's doing through different people working with student athletes. And so one of those things is we love to see people connected with how God can use them in the Great Commission. That everybody has a personal role that they can fulfill through helping others come to know Christ. And so one of our staff at Arizona State took several of his student athletes to Puerto Rico with him, which is one of our partnership countries, and they were going to different universities on the island and helping open up ministry there by doing random evangelism, starting spiritual conversations, just trying to launch ministry in new locations that weren't there before. And so they had the privilege of seeing several people come to Christ and just really good conversations about where people were spiritually. And so when they returned back to Arizona State, these athletes came up to our staff and said, hey, can we do this here at Arizona State? And so that's like a staff member dream right there, when students come to you and say, hey, can we go do evangelism with you? And so it's really cool to see, by taking athletes to engage in other cultures on kind of the cutting edge of launching ministry, that they can catch the vision of the tools and knowledge of sharing the gospel, and another location can work where they're at. And so we're super excited to see growth like that as we engage athletes in the Great Commission.
Along the same lines, last summer our summer assignment was going to South Africa and helping launch spiritual movements at the campuses in Johannesburg. Yeah. And Lauren was one of the girls that went with us. And the day we were on campus at University of Johannesburg, I'm going to start over. Okay. Can you be quiet for a minute? Okay. So last summer we were in South Africa as part of our summer assignment, and going to launch campuses in Johannesburg and Pretoria. And so we were on campus the first day at
We were on campus the first day at
at University of Johannesburg, and Lauren, who was one of the girls that I was discipling, she wasn't super excited to go to start spiritual conversations. This is not working right now. So the first day we were at University of Johannesburg, and Lauren, one of the students that was with us, she wasn't very excited to go on campus and start spiritual conversations. It just so happened we were kind of having that discussion when some of the guys who'd already started a spiritual conversation with some guys needed the Wi-Fi hotspot that we had. These guys that they started a conversation with were from Francophone, which is a French-speaking region in Africa, and none of them spoke French, so they were trying to use Google Translate to have a spiritual conversation. Well, Lauren just happened to be fluent in French, so Lauren went over, shared the gospel with these guys, and one of them prayed to receive Christ, and one of them said that he was assured of his salvation at that point. And so it was just really cool to see God using this girl who wasn't very excited for the spiritual conversation part of the mission trip, to be able to use her skills that none of us had. I don't speak French. To share the gospel and actually lead someone to Christ while we were there. So that was just really encouraging, and I know she went back to her school excited to have those conversations with her friends and classmates.
Yeah, so one of the cool things about working at our headquarters is there are 12 athletic departments within 40 minutes of our headquarters location. And so we get to engage part-time with the local campus team that's working here to reach those athletic departments. And so Emily joins me as we go down to Wilmington College. It's about 25 minutes south of us, small Division III school. And so we're really excited for what's happening there. And the leadership team is beginning to take ownership of ministering to their peers and equipping themselves to share the gospel. And so one of those graduating seniors is going with one of our basketball tours to East Asia, which is a closed country that we use sports teams to send over and compete against their teams in order to help build relationships for the day that we may have an opportunity to openly share the gospel in that country. And so we're super excited to see him take those steps, as there's been a lot of encouragement for me to push Malcolm towards, hey, do something other than just stay here. Take that go in the Great Commission to go and make disciples. Take that seriously, take that step. And so after several years of encouragement, he took that step, and he's over there playing basketball for a couple of weeks with our tour. And so we're super excited about seeing him take that next step of faith. What does it look like for him to go and affect others?
And as I mentioned before, with Owen and just the responsibilities that he has, so what Owen does really trickles down through the whole of the campus ministry, because if he can spend 10 minutes or 10 days developing some program or something to help our staff out in the field, that's something that each of them don't have to do. So right now he's running the operations department solo, but a great opportunity that he has that we're working with this project this summer is X Project, which is basically our internship program. So this summer we had 19 students come in from around the country to spend 9 weeks interning at our headquarters. And Owen has 2 interns working under him, Cam, who's focusing in finance, and Lexi, who is a PR major, who's helping him do some branding things for winter retreats and some of the other programs that they do. And so that gives a lot of lift. And it was really neat. Even some of the stories coming in, we, as I shared in some of our previous prayer letters, this book called God Space that one of our staff wrote, just how to have casual spiritual conversations, you know, how to notice and listen, and ask wondering questions, to really, you know, dive deeper into what somebody means by what they say. So Cam read the book before he came, and Cam comes from a not Christian background and became a Christian in high school through a missions trip. He had a spiritual conversation with his mom before he came, which is really neat to hear, because I think that is usually our parents are the biggest people that we're afraid to have spiritual conversations with. So seeing how this project is already having some impacts, even though we're only in week 3 out of 9 here. The students are this afternoon heading out to some outreach locations to, you know, share the love of Christ and to, you know, practice some of these things that they're already being taught here. Yeah. What else about X Project?
That's fine.
She's asleep now?
Mm-hmm. Nope. I don't know how to close this out. We thank you guys for supporting us financially and for praying for us. We recognize more and more as we grow closer to the Lord and discover more about Him through this process of being missionaries, that we can do less and less of what we actually think we can do on our own. And so it's really awesome to see people like you guys who are part of the body come and support another part of the body and able to do missions. So we look forward to seeing you guys next time we're in Washington.
If you'd like any more information on what we do in this ministry or resources, we'd love to talk with you about that. I should say that without all the ums.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like
and
more,
mention our website.
Yeah. If you'd like more information about what we do or resources from Athletes in Action, we'd love to talk with you about that. Or you can also find us on our website, thegraysaia.org.
Bye. Say bye, Maisie.
Maybe it's like, she's a tired one. I'm just gonna